Hey, welcome guys. Alexander Ned here, your Midnight Broadcasting Network commentator. I am soon to be joined by from the back, and we will be bringing you live flag to flag coverage of the Midnight Broadcasting Network, the Pocono Raceway Cup Series here as their fight for the championship is about to set off at Homestead-Miami Speedway. I do have to take care of some quick home keeping things as far as my end on my internet and to get this race set up. But we should have that green flag for you here in just a matter of moments. So go ahead, get back, relax. It should be a great night. We'll go through the roster, the starting order, and who's in contention for that championship in just a couple of moments. Stand by. Welcome back, folks. Alexander Ned here once again with live flag to flag coverage at Homestead-Miami Speedway. We are on round two, race number two of round one in the playoffs here for PRCS, the Pocono Raceway Cup Series, and they head to Miami Speedway. That's usually host to a championship in the real Monster Energy Cup Series. It'll be interesting to see what these guys can do on this unique 1.5 mile racetrack here today. Let's go back to last week where we saw Big D, who was not in playoff contention, able to score an upset victory, if you will. That, and he only led just one lap in the later stage of that race. Able to get there in what was a crazy turn of events between Fluffy and Slade, and saw almost 4 cars battling underneath a blanket. Big D able to survive that mess that was Kansas Motor Speedway. Let's give you a roster update. Holding off for this round, and keep in mind there are 8 drivers, all with a shot to mathematically win this championship. I also want to apologize. Earlier last week, I did say that Big D locked himself in the next round. That is just me, following the real rules of NASCAR. With PRCS, it is a point-driven system. That is, you accumulate points throughout the whole entire season. Whoever has the most points at the end of the last race, and there are, I believe, 6 of them. There are 2 of 6 right now, will be your champion. We have Slade, your point leader right now, followed by Fluffy, BCR Racer Kid, and then Voltage. Those are your top 4 in the running right now, just outside of the cutoff line, and there are 8 drivers all still mathematically able to win this championship. You have JRM Keffer, Gallant, New World Order, and Celtics fan. Those are the cars that we will be paying extra attention to throughout this race. Just outside of that, not in playoff contention, but still going to be a factor to try and make a name for themselves here at PRCS. You have Saab in the 38 car, DWH in 10th, AJ Sizzle Storm in the 11th position outside of the top 10 in points. Rowdy, that 47 car, in 12th. 13th is Big D Destroyer, fresh off that win at Kansas. In 14th is Pat's Ace. 15th will be handled by the 22 Diesel, C. Workman in 16th. 17th will be Angelo. 18th, Marcus Fan. 19th, Jay Hyper. And 20, Justin Mons. Again, just moments away, and hopefully I will be joined by somebody else in the booth, because I do not like broadcasting by myself for this race very long. I just hope it's not very, I hope I don't get too boring for you guys. Just coming off of workday myself, but I am excited for the action that should pick up here in this round one, especially going to the unique racetrack that is Homestead. I mentioned before, Homestead is usually the series finale. It's been the series finale since 2002 for the Monster Energy Cup Series. It has its playoff format has gone through a number of changes through the addition of round stages and capping off a elimination style format. Homestead has always been the common factor in each and every one of those crazy championships that we've seen over the last 20 years. However, that will change after 2019. A new, dramatically new schedule was released by NASCAR earlier this year, and Homestead will now have a March date. So they will be racing there just outside, I believe it'll be the first week of spring of 2020. So it'll be interesting to see that racetrack definitely not hold a season finale, just like what we're going to kind of see right here. I do have the running order for today's event as we are just moments away from getting those invites. Fluffy, BC Racer Kid, those are going to be your top two guys to lead them down to green. Rouse Fenway Racing having a great start to the day, and this is usually in the real world the Ford EcoBoost 400 Ford, proudly sponsoring that race for many years. We'll see if a Ford visits victory lane here today. Another set of teammates round out row number 2. It will be the 19 and the 11. 42 and the 12 are in the third row, starting 5th and 6th. Starting 7th, your point leader, Slade, followed by New World Order, and that 18 machine. Rounding out the top 10 will be JRM McKeffer and the 22 Diesel Fan. Just outside of the top 10, the 34 and 9, and then the 10 car of Gallon also will be rounding out the playing spot order. I believe he is 13th in today's event. I'm going to save my breath and catch a break until we get those invites. You are watching the Midnight Broadcasting Network for NASCAR Heat 3 and PRCS. All right, invites are sent. Just waiting to join in. Organizing my internet. Hopefully we did not miss too much at the beginning. I think that was just said I was making sure I had everything. All right, my apologies for missing the start of the race, man. I feel like NBC with those needed commercials, but we are about 5 laps in. I was trying to get set up to make sure I saw JRM's live stream there to get you guys the best broadcast we can. But up front, don't think you've missed much. Fluffy has taken the lead there so far. Voltage in the 42 right behind him. A little bit of a sizable gap between first and second place before they are underneath the blanket, second through third. Fifth place on back, that is driven by New World Order to that 18 machine. He rounds out your top 5. And there's a battle between the 21 and the 11 of Celtics fan and Slade. That settles in favor of the 21 heading into turn number 1. A couple of guys in the back of the pack. Big D Destroyer in the 13. Don't know what set them there. They're just trying to get a handle on their race cars, but they are outside of the top 10, running along in 12th and 13th, respectively. We'll try to get a story update with them as this race continues on. Homestead-Miami Speedway, again, these guys are all running custom setups. Some of these guys are in the Pro Esports League for NASCAR Heat 3, so they know how to run these race cars around this track. But something that is unique about Homestead here, look at the line that they choose to go in between turn 3 and turn 4. This track was originally all flat. Imagine Indianapolis with curved turns. It's kind of was how Homestead was modeled after. Back in 2002, they revamped, they added paving, or banking, back in 2003, as we see a pass for the lead. The 11 Celtics fan, door checked the 21 right there. He wanted that position. He got it from the 21 of Slade right there. Moves Celtics fan up a spot to the 6th position. But they remodeled this racetrack back in 2003, and it's given us that progressive banking, and I think that's added a unique line around this racetrack. We now see guys running to the high side. I think as this race wears on, they might be trying, you'll see more drivers go to that high side, perhaps trying to figure out where they're not. That's where I like to make my move. It's whatever position these guys are not, and if they're all running around the bottom, try to get your car to work on the high side. Call it the Kyle Larson line, and rightfully so, you can make up some serious time up in the high groove. Speaking of making up some serious time, is the 19. See if we can go back up to the front. That is Voltage, now taking a look underneath, side by side for the lead. Fluffy, he ran him down, and now, he got loose right there, had to catch it up the racetrack. Here comes BC Racer Kid underneath. Car just did not stick for him in turn 1. He'll lose all that momentum that he had gained on Fluffy entering the corner, and now he'll have to retrack it again. These guys are just on edge, and you feel like that. I know what it's like to be inside one of these race cars. Well, I say that. I know what it's like to drive one of these race cars in this game, and sometimes it's just hard to keep your car. It'll snap loose just like that. The 19 Voltage did a great job in keeping calm and making sure that wasn't a bigger issue heading into turn number 1. Battle for second still heating up. BC Racer Kid thought he could take advantage of that mistake made by the 19. Looks like he will this time by. Here comes the 42 car looking underneath, side by side. Second through 4th. Make that the 5th position as New World Order looks to thread the needle, making it 3 wide out of turn 2. Up high is the 19. Teammates battling it out, and that side by side is going to allow the 11 and 21 to join into the mix and allow the 17 car to try and once again pull away. Now Roush Fenway Racing holding the top 2 positions so far. And BC Racer Kid, the 19 bursts the wall. Voltage had to get out of the gas right there. Significant time lost on the 19. That was a bigger mistake, and that was going to be harder to overcome. Going to take a quick audio break. This is always going to be NASCAR Nonstop with NASCAR Heat 3. But I do need to make sure I get JRM's Keffer live stream to give you the information needed to provide a good broadcast. So give me just 1 minute, and I will be right back. So keep an eye on the leader. Welcome back to the Sunshine State 400 at Homestead-Miami Speedway, presented to you by NASCAR Heat 3 and Midnight Broadcasting Network. This is the Pocono Raceway Cup Series. Ooh, don't know exactly what happened to the 6 car right there. You saw teammates battling for the lead. And the 6 BC Racer Kid looks like he is going to go down pit road, and he is the first of our leaders to do so. Imagine it's going to be a 4-tire stop. Ooh, looked like the 42 perhaps thought he was going to go back on there as well, but obviously something amiss on that 6 car early in this run for him to decide to go down pit road. This is early in this stage. And he will fall a lap down to the leaders. Here comes the rest of the pack as well. 21 in the 34. This does look like it's going to be scheduled pit stops. Meanwhile, the 17, the 11, and the 42 continue to stay out on the racetrack. 21 down and away. That is our point leader. Going to be 4-tire Sunoco fuel. He was running around mid-pack kind of in the 6th and 7th position. We'll see if an early pit stop allows him to gain time on the leaders that have not yet pitted. Now, a big pack of cars all on pit road. The 18, the 42, the 88, and the 9. Pat's Ace all diving down pit road. As green flag pit stops are underway here at Homestead. 34 is off and away. 12 car, Big D Destroyer also in. He was in the tail end of the pack. We'll see if maybe perhaps strategy. He pulls something here. I think everybody, though, is going to take 4 tires and Sunoco fuel. So far, I don't see one car lingering. That tells me that everybody has been able to get on pit road legally. And you see they are off and away. Our leaders now on to pit road. You see the 19 Voltage right on the back bumper of the 17 car. And the 11 was able to get in front of the 17 car. Let's see if that perhaps was a mistake on the 17th car, perhaps being cautious entering pit road, or did the 11 make a mistake and speed past the 17 car? The lead did change right there. Uh, 17 cars away, and so is the 19. That tells me Celtics fan, big mistake on the 11. Kind of reminds me of Denny Hamlin in real life. The 11 car speeding down pit road. That will cost him dearly. I was wondering because there was no way he made up that much time. Just like that, you guys see how well fresh tires pays off. 17 and the 19, they joined the field, but now they are running back in the 4th and 5th position. Those that were able to pit early, including the 21 of Slade, the 6 of BC Racer Kid, and the 18 of New World Order. Able to get out in front of perhaps the most dominant car so far early in this stage, the 17 of Fluffy. Green flag pit stops complete. Your leader right now is, I believe, the 42. Cycling through the rest of the pack. The only person that did have a miscue on that pit stop, as I mentioned before, 13 is in the wall. Scrubs it off. We stay under green, but it is the 11. Let's see where he is. And there he is, all by his lonesome in the middle of turn 1 and 2. South side of the speedway there. Had a miscue getting onto pit road. Big mistake. Luckily, he had it in stage 1. That's something you can overcome with the addition of 2 restarts, beginning stage 2 and stage 3, but you do not want to have a mistake like that. That could cost you a chance for a championship. .42. Great job. Able to get out in front. But meanwhile, in the back of the pack, the 17 car is hunting them down, picking them off. Right now, he's underneath the 22 of Diesel. And that is a fight for the 4th position. Oh, Diesel! Diesel's around with New World Order. They both save it off the corner. Wow, they needed every inch of that paved backstretch to keep those cars straight. That was a moment. That cost the 17 car some time, though. But luckily, the 18 and the 22 were able to navigate that and pretty much emerge unscathed. That was a big moment on the backstretch. Now the 17 car sets his sights on the 21 of Slade. And he'll look underneath at those older tires, even by a lap and a half. Really, really show their wear late in this stage. For those of you joining, we have had a clean and green stage so far. It was Fluffy in control before a series of green flag pit stops headed by the 6 in the 42. They were able to get out early and use those fresher tires to their advantage, but now because they were able to use those new tires to their advantage early in that pit cycle, they're starting to fall back late as we get to the end of stage number 1. Fluffy able to clear the 21 car. It'll be no match now. The question remains, can he get to the back bumper of the 6 and perhaps the 42 before time runs out? I am still trying to find the live stream for JRM Keffer. If you guys give me a minute, I will be back again. An audio break. We will keep an eye on the 17 car as he continues to move forward. The 42 is your leader, followed by the 6 of BC Racer Kid. We're watching NASCAR and listening to NASCAR on NX3, brought to you by the Midnight Broadcasting Network. All right, welcome back to the Midnight Broadcasting Network, presented to you by Goodyear. All the grueling demands these tires face in a race inspires what they roll into yours. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. Getting to the closing laps of stage number 1, crossing the stripe, 33 of 39, riding along with the 88. See if we can find him. There he is, right in front of Big D Destroyer, who's trying to make some help as he just bounced off the wall right there. He's running along in the 8th position, carrying along our online live stream, which you can find. Just search Jason Keffer, and he is live on YouTube right now as we speak, just as we are right now following him. Up front continues to be the 42. And he is having a great day so far. But BC Racer Kid, hot pursuit. I do want to make sure that the 42 car is the leader. I do believe he is. That's DWH. Just want to make sure he's not like considered a lap down or anything like that. 17 of Fluffy has not been able to make up much ground after getting past the 21. He's bringing along the 19 of Voltage. They both pitted at the same lap. They have the same set of tires as far as wear, but they have not been able to reel in the 6 car like I thought they would. And now Voltage actually taking a look underneath the 17, challenging for position. Keep in mind at the end of the stage breaks, a playoff point will be awarded to the next, to the victor, which is great, considering those will carry over into the next round, as well as 10 regular season points. And these guys, as I mentioned before, it's not about allowing yourself a win in your in situation. It's about accumulating the most points there is. And that, to me, tells me that getting the most points in these stages is very important. They've been able to reel in the 6th car. Don't know if they'll have enough time. It'll be 3 laps to go in stage 1 to get to DWH in that 42 machine. Here's a look underneath. There goes the 17 car. Teammates battling for 2nd place. As the 19 uses the 6th car almost as a pick that actually blocked the run made by the 17 car. Now he falls back, and they are still battling side by side with 1 lap to go in the stage. DWH well out front. It's now going to be a battle for 2nd between teammates. 6 car BC Racer Kid all over the back bumper is the 17, his teammate. 1 more final charge. Can the 17 car clear him on the outside? Defensive line held by the 6. 42 up front. He's going to win the stage side by side. Who gets there for 2nd? Fluffy edges out BC Racer Kid by a nose. Voltage in 4th. And then in the 5th spot will be your point leader. That's the 21 of Slade. Great finish to end stage 1 between teammates right there. Wish we had a replay. 17 car using that high side lane to get the advantage and run off the corner. Able to edge out his teammate BC Racer Kid just by an inch. It was enough to get 2nd place and 9 points awarded to that 17 car. 42. Don't know if we talked much about him. He did lead that race with great, excellent pit strategy. Pitted early and was able to hang on to that lead. What did these guys learn as far as making those green flag pit stops and when to do them? What will we see later on in this race? DWH and the 17 of Fluffy will begin stage number 2. The American Ethanol green flag is back out through the Geico restart, though. We're racing again at Homestead. Oh, the 6 car gets into his teammate. They bottleneck out of turn 2 and a crash. 18 is involved, the 19 spinning. Most of Joe Gibbs Racing, the 11 Celtics fan of base of action. Caution is out. That began with the 6 of BC Racer Kid, got sideways and heading into turn number 2. Most of the field had nowhere to go. And our first caution for an incident, 2nd of the day, and it was big. Hate to see teammates run into one another like that. I know somewhere Jack Rouse picking up his hat, thinking, come on, guys, we got a whole nother stage of the championship. Think big picture right here. That was just, frankly, a mistake made by BC Racer Kid. Could happen to anyone, but we'll see how that shuffles the running order here with a quick caution. 17 didn't get much damage out of that. He falls actually to the inside line. The 22 Diesel will pick up that 2nd position. BC Racer Kid all the way back in 13th position. The American Ethanol green flag is back out. Track is clear, and we're racing once again. Oh, the 88. Looked like he made contact with the 34, Jay Hyper. Oh, big crash. Pat's Ace on the backstretch. Couple of cars involved, spinning. 88 is involved. Caution once again. Guys are going to get antsy. They're also going to have their patience wear thin. If you're up front, you feel like you can't stretch your legs. I can't tell you what it's like as a competitor. You want those green flag runs. It allows you to get in tune with your race car. It allows you to get in tune with the racetrack. You cannot do that with a caution after caution after caution. Those guys, their tempers are going to start to boil, and the guys that are involved in the wreck behind them, their tempers are going to boil because they're the ones that are involved in the crash. So you're just going to have a bunch of mad people on a racetrack all restarting together. That's not going to be good for anybody if we carry on this tradition. We are now, I believe, just outside of the pit window. If it goes green from here, these guys will need to make, we'll see. We'll see how fuel strategy plays out. A big jump to the outside with the 88. A full fuel window of 30 laps, and they have 29 laps to go, so that does take out pit strategy for stage 2. Everyone should be able to make it from here on out. 34 car up to the front using strategy to get to the point. First time they've been able to make it through turns 3 and 4 under speed. And some cars that were leading this race are now stuck in traffic. Meanwhile, people we haven't seen up front trying to take advantage of it. The 34 car is sniffing that clean air as they are 3 abreast behind them for second place. Look at Diesel underneath. Man, the 19 car right on the back bumper. That Ford trying to lead him as the New World Order bounces across the track. He'll take the 13. Both cars spinning toward the inside wall in the pit entrance. Caution. And I was not able to get there to see, but I did see the 18 out of shape in turn 4, and he collected the 13 with him. Now it begins to be a question of, you have enough fuel. Do you sacrifice track position for tires, or do you hold on to track position? That is the question each one of these guys are asking themselves. What is better right now? Do I want the tires to get up to the front? We've seen what fresher tires can do in a matter of 2 and even 3 laps that allowed the 19 and the 17 to give chase to the rest of the field at the end of stage 1. We do see some guys pitting in the back of the pack along with the 21. He's coming in. And 8th place on back all decided to pit. Those first 5 cars up front did not. That cutoff point is Celtics fan. Everyone ahead of him, older tires. Everyone behind him, we assume to have fresher tires, including the 21 Slade. Green flag is back out. 24 laps remain in the stage. Oh, big crash in turn number 3. The 11 Celtics fan is around. My goodness, the 88. You see Fluffy is spinning. And they were barely even into 4th gear before that happened. Well, so much for fresher tires. 11 a Celtics fan. That was the first car I saw sideways. I don't know what sent him around, but he restarted in the 5th position. Wow, what a melee. I don't know what happened, but I can't imagine. Somebody is not happy with someone for that, because that should not have happened. Woo! Don't know what changed between stage 1 and stage 2. I'm going to go, I believe it was Steve Letarte that said this earlier during the broadcast at Daytona, the Coke Zero Sugar 400. Does that lap pay more than the others? I don't believe so. Track is clear. Pace car worker getting overtime here today. Green flag is back out in the 19 Voltage in front of Diesel. Ooh, side by side, almost contact. There was contact between the leaders right there, but they keep it straight. Less than 20 to go in stage number 2. Man, Diesel, oh, he's in the wall. Does that check up the rest of the field? It does. He keeps it in the wall, but everyone able to get around him. Heads up move by the 22, but he's going to fall all the way outside of the top 10. Here comes Big D Destroyer. Oh, the 19 of Voltage has to get out of the gas. Wow, our leaders are having issues at the front of the field. And you see the 13 a gallon hard in the wall in turn number 3. 17 brushes the wall. Jay Hyper is in the wall. And this lead pack is dwindling faster than the speeds carried around this 1.5 mile joint. Oh, the 19. Who's that in the middle? It's going to cause a crash and a chain reaction. The 11 in the 88. 11 a Celtics fan in the wall. 88 is spinning. Yellow flag, number 5 of the day. Man, that wreck, it started in turn 2 and did not end until down the backstretch heading into turn number 3. I believe it was the 19. Got loose in the middle of the corner. And everyone had to check up, and it was a chain reaction that saw the 11, the 88 not able to save it from going around. Some more split strategy here. Our leaders heading in, BC Racer Kid along with Slade, New World Order, decides not to pit, fakes them out. Voltage and Fluffy on pit road. Looks like the 18, a New World Order, will inherit the lead because of that move. Up 7 spots is the 88. Let's watch this from the Goodyear blimp, shall we? See if we can take a look and see what's causing some of these problems that these guys are having into the corner. Side by side. He's the 12 car. He's running along in the 6th position. Look at these guys underneath. What do these guys on the high side have to do versus those guys on the low side? It's a lower arc. 3 wide just in front of him. The 11 car Celtics fan who was involved in that caution trying to make headway. That was a crazy lap seen from that vantage point. New World Order loses the lead to the 88. It's the first time we've seen JRM Kepper, one of the esports drivers, to the point. Oh, the 18 gets the 9 of PRCS into the wall. And spinning is the 11. He collects Slade. Hellacious hit to the outside wall in turn 4. Upside down is the 34 of J Hyper. And the yellow flag is out once again. Fluffy was involved. Saw the 21. Slade sandwiched to the outside wall. Nowhere to go. 18. It began with him. And J Hyper with a wild ride at the north end of the Speedway. My, oh my. You know, if the real Homestead race was ever like this, I don't think you could get people to change the day. I would love a season finale. This would rival the Super Bowl. Guys, I don't want to be the one to say this, but we have another stage after this, too. If it's crazy right now, imagine what it's like with 5 playoff points and a win is on the line. Green flag is back out. 10 laps remaining in stage 2. Old PRCS loose off the corner, gathers it back up. Oh, Fluffy out of shape on the backstretch. And that is not what he wanted late in this stage. I keep on telling you guys how important it is to get these stage points. Only the top 10 are rewarded, and he's looking outside the top 10 right now. He'll need the aid of a caution flag or another misfortune to get caught back up. He's going to lose some time. JRM trying to set sail at the 42 DWH, trying to win 2 stages in a row. Six car switches lanes in the middle of the corner, goes to the high side, blocks that advance from the 12. And now the first front 5 look to be single file before finding their own respective lines in the turn. Here comes DWH with the run. 2 Chevys trying to outduel one another, heading into turn number 3. DWH, does he have the run? Or can JRM keep him to bay on the outside? DWH by a nose. That's helped by the 6 car. They finished 1-2. last stage. Will they do so again, working well with one another? 88 not able to use that outside lane to his advantage. His car does not work well once your car is to the outside. Looks like the preferred racing groove so far continues to be that inside line. DWH to the point. Battle for second, heating up the 88 car. Once again to the high side. They are 3 abreast behind them. Six to go. It'll be 5 to go at the stripe. I know the 88's not happy with his race car on the high side, but he's putting up one heck of a fight. And DWH, oh, sandwiches in the 12 car. He's spinning. The 21. Penske teammates right there. Slade also out of it. And that could be what the rest of the field wants to see to make up some valuable points. 21 car, he's going to get challenged by the 17 car, and you bet those guys are going to fight it out to try and get that precious point between them. Wow, a big block by the 88. He wanted that inside line. Can he take it? BC Racer Kid is still there. DWH is loving this. He's loving these guys side by side. He's allowed to run his race groove. Wow, look at the 6 car. Just sliced to the top of the racetrack. Three to go this time by, and I do want to keep an eye on this battle up front, but I do also want to take a peek at your championship leaders. Keep an eye just to the edge of your screen as the 11 Celtics fan gets out of the gas. The 17 and the 21 are fighting for a point, while the rest of the field is going to gain valuable positions on them. The 88 car almost clipped the apron right there. It'll be 2 to go next time by. Here comes New World Order. He's coming to life. And he'll take the 3rd position away from BC Racer Kid. So far, no one has had anything for the 42. Again, not in playoff contention, but having a great job today. Oh, a 6 car. Took that position away from the 88. Perhaps not like how he was blocked that last lap. He'll now go to the 2nd position, and the guys that were running 1-2 that last stage are 1-2 once again. This will be the last lap of stage number 2. DWH breaking the draft. Something we typically don't see here at Homestead, but making sure the 6 car doesn't want to provide any chance of him to gain any time. But he does. Wow, what a drive. And the 6 car is there. DWH, slow lane. Sticks it to the bottom of the racetrack. BC Racer Kid not going to give an inch. DWH wins stage number 2. Let's see the rest of the field. Slade and Fluffy, they finished 9th and 10th, so they will be awarded 2 and 1 point respectively each, as a pretty messy start, pretty messy end to stage 2 finally falls underway, and we can get the 3rd and final stage in the books here at Homestead. Joined in the booth by from the back, dude, glad to have you here.
Man, I didn't know you was flying solo. I'd have hurried up, man. I had a little bit of trouble out of my crew today, so what have I missed?
Oh, it's been one wild one. It was pretty clean and green. Stage 1, we saw DWH use early pit strategy to grab the lead away from Fluffy, who had a commanding lead before green flag pit stops. And then stage 2, complete opposite. A lot of yellow flags, a lot of big crashes, and a short sprint to the finish, about 10 laps to end that stage, but DWH able to get around the rest of the field once again. This 3rd and final stage will consist of 52 laps, so that means, the 88 and the 18, and there it is again, just like we talked about it at the beginning of stage 2. Another crash begins stage 3. The 12, the 19, and the 21 of Slade is spinning down the backstretch. Caution. It didn't take long to see the yellow flag once again to begin a stage. And we have shuffled our running order. It's been kind of like that there.
I'm getting set up now, see if I can join this race.
These guys will need to make one green flag pit stop. That is, if we do get the chance. They can make it on 30 laps of fuel. And we have seen tires play a big part in maintaining track position. The newer the tire, the better chance you have of running those guys down.
Yeah, it's also the playoffs too, so a lot of guys jockeying for position for that these last couple of races.
A couple of big names that didn't score many points that second stage were Fluffy and the 21. They both had mistakes that they were not able to overcome in stage 2. That will hurt a little bit in the middle of the race, but they cannot afford to have that mistake again at the end of this one. Wow, Jay Hyper's in the wall. Oh, Fluffy pounds the wall in turn 3. Slade pounds the wall in turn 3. Our top 2 in the points. Running second to last and last now because of that. I was just saying they do not need to make a mistake. What happens? They're both in the wall.
Did it bring out coffee?
It did not. They stayed green. They were able to save it. They have fast enough cars, I believe, to try and get back up to the front, but they're going to have to really use them. I believe the 17 has the benefit of the draft from whoever's running. I believe that's Dallin in the 13 machine, but 21 of Slade, he is decently far back. He needs to be perfect in order to catch back up. Battle for the lead. Here comes the 11S Celtics fan. He's in playoff contention. He's trying to point that 11 car in the right direction. Got caught speeding just like Denny Hamlin usually does in a Monster Energy Cup Series race early in stage 1. Able to rebound. He has one win. Denny Hamlin does after a pit road speeding penalty. And that came at Texas. That was also his last win in the 2019 season. Wow! Crossover move to the bottom of the racetrack to 42. Looking underneath. Big D Destroyer out of shape in turn 4. It has not been his day after winning the race last week.
If you remember last week, he got a little loose, got up into the marbles and got into the wall a couple times, but he was able to overcome that all.
He'll need somewhat of the same miracle again in order to get caught back up. That car just has not had the speed and luck in order to do so. Jay Hyper, or excuse me, I believe that was Diesel actually, on the apron, drove out of it. We have about 9 cars in this lead pack, led by Celtics fan is trying to break free. JRM Kepper in that 88 machine. Now challenging the 42 for second. And I see the 17 car. He's been able to make up some time. However, our point leader has not. Slade running along by himself. And no drafting help. I was worried about that. The 17 car was able to lasso the field when he had his mistake. The 21 car was not. He's just going to need a flawless pit stop and a really good working car to make up that type of time. I'd like to see the telemetry that they use, that NASCAR and Fox, or like NBC Sports uses, to see his speed versus the speed of the leaders. Because he looks like he's fast, but he's just not making up any time at all. Slade, point leader, running along in the 12th position.
If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm trying to sneak back in through you. The invite didn't work. So.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to get him in here.
You can't join through the party?
That's what
Are you trying to? Okay, hopefully. '88. JRM having a good run. I know
I hate
that.
I'm missing that. You know, that's my boy.
He's having a great run, and I know this guy, he spends so much time practicing, methodically working, massaging his setup, trying to get everything he can out of a race car. I really, really believe this 88 car, that a win is on the horizon for this guy, and it could be today. He's having a great run so far toward the end of this race. Front six cars are now single file. Fluffy now making his way back to the point, or at least back to contention. Oh, a six car, big bobble. His teammate out of shape on the front stretch. Here comes Fluffy looking underneath Jay Hyper in the 34. Oh, the 13 and the 34 made contact. The 34 brushes the wall. Don't know if Jay's going to be happy with that one.
Jay really didn't have a good day yesterday in our Xfinity race either.
Celtics fan. Great run so far. And this could be a day where right now, where your competitors, he is 8th, I believe, in the roster point standing, but a win, it doesn't guarantee your advancement, but it sure does give you enough points to place yourself in contention. But he's now under pressure from the 88. JRM looking underneath. He has voltage. And another teammate behind him. That's the 9 of Pat's Ace. All this side by side. And a 10 car battle up front has allowed the 17 car a chance. And you don't want to give him a chance because he's going to take it.
Yeah, he's actually, the 9 car is actually looking really good, but that's not Pat's Ace. That's actually J-Mon's. He got moved up from our truck.
Excuse me, J-Mon's. I'm so sorry. I've been calling him Pat's Ace this whole time. My mistake there. But Justin Mons having a great day so far. And all of this as they cross the stripe. They have 34 laps to go. They are 4 laps away from their pit window. And that's important because I want to see, oh, New World Order off the track. Gets back well behind the lead pack, but still in touch with the lead draft. Someone that's fallen back unexpectedly is the 42 of DWH. There from the back. He won both stages, but right now he's settling along in the 6th position. Not making a lot of noise for that 42 car. I'm thinking perhaps handling, or maybe he's just biding his time. Perhaps waiting for that pit window to open up.
Yeah, those guys look really racy up front. I might drop back too. If I couldn't get out front and run away, I'd just fall back and just stay patient. These guys all look pretty hungry as we all around here at midnight.
The
Anybody
draft
can win. That's the beautiful part of it.
Oh, in the wall, Justin Mons bounces back into traffic. DWH and BC Racer Kid have to avoid him. And they do. Wow, Justin still riding the wall in turn 3 briefly. But everyone else heads for cover, and they find some. That was a big moment.
Like J-Mon's actually ducked on pit road, so.
Hopefully he got onto pit road. That is just outside the fuel window. But that's a great way to minimize the bleeding. If you find yourself with an issue in the north end of the racetrack And not wanting to give up time, he'll be able to use that to his advantage. And we'll see what Fresher Tires does on that 9 machine.
It definitely couldn't happen in a better place for him, Alex, than right here.
I'm just worried about the time because right now they're going across the stripe and it's 30 to go. And he's going to have to make it on 32 laps. He went a lap down right there, I believe. And that's going to be asking a lot without the aid of a caution flag. Did he pit too early? A story we'll be keeping track of.
Green flag run was 34 laps. Oh,
it's 30 laps.
Just a little sideways again.
A green flag run is 30.
Okay.
At least I believe so. If it's 34, it might be enough. I thought I saw that 30.
Taking a look, but he tucked back behind the number 11 Celtics fan.
BC Racer Kid and Fluffy teammates heading down pit road. The 18, I don't know if he thought he wanted to do that or not. But, see Justin now making his pit stop. These guys are on pit road. And we'll see what happens here for what could be perhaps the final pit stop of the day.
EWH got a little sideways coming off the floor, it looked like.
These are all going to be 4-tire and Sunoco fuel pit stops. Perhaps a last-minute adjustment on these machines. We see the rest of the field flying through by them. The 11 Celtics fan not pitting this lap. Really, really worried about the time lost by the 21 of Slade. This is really going to hurt him in the points if he cannot get caught back up. 17 cars off and away. Where does he fall in relationship to the 9, who is up to speed? You see him there on the left side of your screen, rounding the corner. He'll be in tow with Fluffy, and that will settle him safely in between both those cars. So I don't think he will lose the draft. In fact, he might pull out right in front. He does of the 17 car. So a great strategy for the 9 of Justin Mons, but can he keep it clean for these last less than 30 laps to go in the stage?
I hope so, Alex. I'd like to see him go good, strong finish up here in the Cup Series. Third weekend, I do believe, him and Jay Hyper.
These guys, the 11, the 88, the 19, have not gone down pit road, and they are losing time to those guys with fresher tires. And with stage 1 in mind, we've seen what that could happen. But you have to wonder if perhaps they're breaking the stage in 2. Perhaps they're going to the end of their fuel 1 in order to get the most life out of their tires. See, the 21 of Slade is on pit road, as well as the 34 and the 12. These guys were in the back of the pack. But now they are completing their final pit stops of the day.
Has the 13 car pitted yet?
I don't believe so. I believe he...
Galen?
I don't believe so. He was in the tail end of the pack. He might have had a pit road speeding penalty, but I don't know the position that he is in. New World Order is on pit road. 34 and the 21 exit.
If it's just on my screen or not, but it looks like a lot of guys are coming off 4 and getting a little sideways, getting into the wall. It might just be something on my screen I'm seeing.
Yeah, but there's also been a trouble spot. Turn 4 has been grabbing cars all day long. The 42 and the 22. Man, the 42 lost a lot of time right there.
Oh, bag
DWH
drops off to go to pit road.
The 19 is on to pit road. Meanwhile, our leaders have yet to pit. The 11 and the 88. And in fact, we have a change for the lead here. The 88 around the 11 on the outside as Voltage gets his pit stop. These guys have about 3 more laps. Here comes the 11 car, Celtics fan. Cautious. 45-mile-per-hour pit road speed. And he gets onto the pit lane very nicely. Now, these guys, they waited quite a bit versus those guys like the 17, the 6, and the 9 car who came in early. So they're going to see a deficit when they come back onto the racetrack, yet they will have the fresher tires.
You got the leader Keffer dropping down the pit road there.
Let's follow that pit stop. And the 88. Sorry, there he is. He gets on to, he is your leader.
I'm excited to see how all this works out. And of course, staying out, the guys in the lead, they will losing a little bit of time to the guys on the fresh tires. But as you know, later on at the end of the race, they're going to have a little bit greener tires than the rest of them. They might be able to work their way back up through there, and might work out for them.
You know, I want to apologize. I'm just now looking at the fuel. This is the first time I've seen a green flag pit stop. And it does say it looks like they can make it 24 laps. So 24 laps is the fuel window. That's interesting because there are 21 laps to go right now. Those guys that pitted must have just pitted. I believe the 17 is going to be clear of this, as well as the 9 and the 18. But the 88 and the 11. Oh, where'd the 11 go? The 11 car.
I haven't seen it. I have not seen it.
Did the 11 get another pit road speeding penalty? The 11 car. Is he back on pit road?
That's what I was. He was still sitting there when it went by.
Wow.
Oh, Galen getting a little bit loose trying to duck down.
Celtics fan with a problem here late in this race. That's something I did not expect. I don't know what, obviously an issue, a connection issue, or something Wi-Fi perhaps, but the 11 car is done.
Definitely.
That is very unfortunate.
He was looking good, strong out front.
I would have liked to see that strategy come into play, but the 88 car holds that strategy alive, and he's within striking distance. You see the 17 car through all of that. Fluffy able to dramatically catch his way back up to the front in a daunting way after he was involved, hitting the wall early in stage 3. Now the question remains, he's on those older tires, the 88 car, who has the newest tires of the whole field. Can he get around this pack running 2nd through 7th and get to Fluffy in enough time?
And the car next to him with the freshest tires, they got a little 2 laps older tires and bags, voltage in the 19. So we're going to see if these guys can hook up and bring them cars to the front and get back out in the lead like they had such a strong lead out there in this competition.
It just amazes me. Week after week after week, we talk about Fluffy. We talk about how strong he is. You back this team into a wall, and they come out swinging. I cannot believe the 17 car. He, like I said, he was in the wall. He was barely able to sniff the draft. Barely able to sniff the draft off the back bumper of the 13 car, who was running along in the 11th position. He was able to run down these leaders, make a great, flawless pit stop, and then inherit the lead.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the few guys that, well, we have a handful of guys here at Midnight that they about got to beat themselves to lose the race. Fluffy's one of them, and he's a very, very strong competitor week in and week out.
I just hope the tires can keep up on that machine, because right now the 88, he's on the back bumper of the 6 and the 19 of voltage, and he had the fresher tires out of the bunch. Meanwhile, where is our point setter, the 21? He's not been able to make up any time. In fact, a really bad day gone worse. He's fallen into the clutches of the 13 machine. He's just barely hanging on to a top 10 right now. That's a battle for 10th.
Okay.
See the 9 car, Justin, who did pit, but I believe he pitted out of sequence and a little bit out of his pit window there, so he has to be extra cautious. Not only is he on the older tires right there, but he's got to save enough fuel in order to make it to the finish. His 88 car. That's who we are keeping an eye on right now. He has the freshest tires. Last pitted with 20 laps to go. The 17 car pitted with 24 laps remaining, just outside on the edge of their fuel window. 4 laps can mean so much as far as tire wear here. And the 88 car needs to make sure he saves those tires in order to get back up to the front, but he cannot waste time getting there.
Yeah, he looks a little content sitting back in fourth right now. New World keeps on sticking his neck out there, trying to come around him there, giving him a little bit of trouble. I think if him and the 19 car can get hooked up, I think they got
he had a mistake right there. That's not going to help him. And the 18 is going to go to the outside, the 22 as well. Keffer falls back outside of the top 5. Contact between the 22 and the 18. The 18 rides the wall in turn 4. And 88 is right in the middle of things.
These guys definitely got their gloves off tonight.
88 gave the bumper to the Diesel. He's back up to 4th. But right now he needs to be that relentless to the back bumper of the 6 and the 19. The 19 of Voltage is tracking now to try and put a little bit of breathing room between him and BC Racer Kid and that 6 machine.
Yeah, I think that little mistake, that little bobble put a little fire back up under the 88 as he's already caught BC in the number 6.
He has no time to lose, and he's taking a look underneath.
Got to run on the inside. Yeah.
This could be the 88th day. He has the freshest tires. Man, this takes me back to 2 weeks ago with Alex Bowman and Kyle Larson. Bowman got past, and it was almost like a fire was lit underneath his eyes and his soul, and he was determined not to finish second, and we saw the 88 get his first career win. Can JRM get it as we see a battle for the lead? This is going to do nothing but help the 88 car if these guys get side by side as they are. Voltage looks underneath Fluffy. Fluffy passed to second place.
They made up tremendous ground.
Man, the 88 car is there.
Yeah, I don't know if Fluffy's got the tires to keep these guys behind.
I didn't think so. And there's a lot of race left. 7 laps to go here. Oh, the 88 is loving this. He is licking his chops. To the inside once again. JRM Keffer. I want to take this time to remind you that this race presented to you by Nationwide. You can follow this live on YouTube. Search Jason Keffer. Right now, we're riding along with him. He's up to second and in playoff contention. Now he's set his sights on the 19.
He is driving the wheels off of that thing.
What a power move made by the 88. He used the chrome horn on the 22, got around the 6, made light work of the 17, and now on the back bumper of the 19. What's he got to do here from the back? From the back. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. He's taking a look underneath.
To be honest with you, just be really aggressive, see if he can go ahead and put that pass on Bags, because the longer he sits behind Bags, they got about equal tires. He's got a lap or 2 laps better tires than Bags, but Bags is always in contention. He's hard to pass. He can really make
that's Voltage.
Wide.
Is that his new name? Is that basically bet?
No, it's Bags is what he used to
okay. I just wanted to make sure I was...
No, you good. It's all good. But, yeah, Keffer's actually due for one. He's been in the back a couple, just like in the esports races, he's been up in some melees that wasn't none of his doing.
He brushed the wall right there. Car pushed off the corner, but he's got 3 laps to do so. But you're right, Bags, so flawless at the end of this race. Can the 88 get around him? I know he has the freshest tires. I know he wants to get there. Less than 5 miles remain in the Sunshine State 400 here at Homestead.
Both of these guys are due for one. So Bags actually won last night, the second week in a row.
Here comes the 88 looking underneath. This could be it. Wow, they're side by side again, almost door checked. 19, he couldn't clear that advance. To the point, the 88, JRM Keffer takes the lead at Homestead. 2 laps remaining. Listening to his spotter here. Nothing on the radio. This 88 machine has been flawless as of late in this stage. Now using a late pit strategy to save those tires.
Oh, it gets a little loose.
Did get a little loose off the corner. The white flag is up. 1 lap to go, sponsored by Ron On Imports.
Let's see if Bags can get a run on him coming out of turn 2 here.
He's got to protect that bottom lane, don't you think? Down the backstretch for the final time.
Oh, he's definitely got to protect it.
No
He's
mistakes.
though. He's stayed against the wall.
The 88 for Hendrick Motorsports. And PRCS, JRM Keffer wins the Sunshine State 400 at Homestead-Miami. What a great win for the 88.
Yeah, what a good win.
Wow. Great finish right there.
That's gonna pump them 2 guys up right there. As you know, both of them are actually esports drivers, and tomorrow night they got Chicagoland, so that's gonna be a big stepping stone over to that. A little bit of aggression took it out tonight. So, man, he was due for one.
That was great. That was awesome. I would have loved to have seen it. I believe, just like what we saw, that was kind of the race-winning strategy to win stage 1. These guys that pitted late.
Yeah, that was definitely the right call. As we thought, just staying out, he was losing a lot of time staying out, but evidently that's why he's there and we're up here.
Yeah, the 9 car, his teammate, he pitted early, was unable to make it on fuel. He had to pit right there. And the 11, a Celtics fan, still trying to follow that story as to why he had also perhaps a winning strategy. He would have loved to have seen a battle between teammates right there, between the 11 and the 19, perhaps the 88 as well. But something put that car back in the garage and a DNF in place of what could have been a really good finish here at Homestead. But my hat is off to the 88 who ran a great stage 3, stayed in it late, able to not lose focus of the main goal, and he drove the wheels off that thing, literally without driving the wheels off that thing.
He definitely did. It's unfortunate for DW running so good, winning stage 1 and stage 2, but a good showing for him tonight as well. Really proud of him too. Let me get Giffer in here.
You see it right there. He didn't have the fastest car, not the fastest lap time, but great run to the finish, and we will get all these guys, our top 3, and I believe it was Bags and Diesel. Diesel had a great run, finishing in 3rd for Penske Racing right there. He had a great job. But the man of the hour is now joining us live on NASCAR Heat 3 for Midnight Broadcasting Network. I want to welcome in and congratulate JRM Jason Keffer. Dude, you're a winner. You won at Homestead. That's got to feel
Finally.
great.
Yeah, finally. Bags and I, neither one of us had a win in the regular season, which is odd for both of us. So that was one hell of a battle there at the end. We both really wanted to get the win. We knew it was going to be between us, and we raced as hard as we could. But that was intense. I knew I was going to mess it up the last couple laps, man. I was trying so hard, and I was able to keep it straight and get the win. So definitely excited.
You know, real life often imitates art, or art imitates real life. We saw the 88 of Alex Bowman get his first win in 134 starts 2 weeks ago in that 88 machine, and now you look like you were kicked to the back of the pack. I saw the 22 and the, I believe, 34 get together right in front, or the 18, excuse me, get together. That actually shuffled you all the way outside of the top 6, and then it was like a switch was flipped on, and you just came to life. You drove it in there. You got into the side of the 22, but it looked like you were not going to be denied. What was going through your mind through those closing laps?
Yeah, I kind of decided I was going to drive it really hard. I wasn't going to just straight punt anybody in the wall, but I definitely wasn't going to give as much room or as much space, and I think I might have got within the diesel a tad, but not too much. And then actually when I passed Bags to the lead, or Voltage, we were talking about it, and I touched him just a tad, but just enough to get him a little loose. And but yeah, when I got shuffled back, man, I don't know, I was a little worried, but the car drafted well. I was the last one, I think, or one of the last to pit. So those fresh tires really came into play, you know, had them there for the end. And the car was a great long-run car, so glad it went like that. But just excited to finally get a win, and it's in the playoffs, so I guess we're on to the final round. So
that was great. Pumped. And that's what I also wanted to mention, tires. We saw that strategy work out for the 42. He was one of the earlier ones to pit, and it worked out for him because the rest of the field wasn't able to catch up to him. You pitted later in the end of the final stage, and you were able to use the fresher tires to your advantage, but how much so did tires play a factor in you driving back up to the front?
I think a lot. I mean, I think we could really see guys starting to fall off because Fluffy was really fast, but I think he pitted kind of early, and then, you know, he kind of dropped off. And even the 1 or 2 laps I pitted after Bags, I mean, I think made a difference because on the last lap or two, I was able to get a pretty good run where it looked like he was having a little bit of issue. And if we had pitted on the same lap, it probably would have been, door to door to the line or him winning. So the tires definitely made a difference.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. You are championship bound, or at least into the next round bound. I'm not quite sure how that works, but I do know you won, so it's got to be good for something. Congratulations there, Jason.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it. And be sure to check out the Pro League race tomorrow night from Chicago. Got a good car there. Hopefully we'll get 2 in a row.
Best of luck. Momentum on his side there. Want to welcome in.
For you.
What's that?
I was trying not to cheer too loud, be biased everything, man. You had me excited, man. I couldn't even talk.
Hey, I'll take it. I'll take any cheers we can get. So thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Good job in the booth as always.
Thanks, man. All right. Last but not least, second place. My goodness, is Voltage Bags, man. That battle toward the end looked like it just came up 2 laps, not in your favor.
Yeah, man, the car, like I said, we had a good long-run car for a while. I knew it was going to be close, and we broke away from that pack there. But, them 2 laps of tires. I knew he had the run on me inside. I just couldn't get to the bottom like he could the last 5 laps of that race. But, like I said, man, it was a great race at the end. I had a lot of fun.
Going to that final stage, if you could, would you have pitted later, perhaps to stay on the same strategy? How much did tires play a factor into your pit strategy?
Honestly, I made a slight mistake, and I was probably would have stayed out there a lap or 2, but I figured just pit ahead, maybe get a short pit, get the gap in front. But I thought it would have been enough. Like I said, it was only a 25-lap run, I think, I had to the finish on my tires. But like I said, man, just a lap or 2 off. But all in all, like I said, it was still a great race.
Still a great run. And how does this prepare you for the races ahead in this league?
It's good, man. I had solid points. That's all we got to worry about right now. We just got to get to the next round of the playoffs. Hopefully be there at the final round. But, yeah, we think we got 1 more for the next race, and then it's on to the finals. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully we'll be up there.
All right.
Yeah, you're always near the front of the pack, man. You're always there hunting for it.
Yeah, I thought I had it tonight, man. I was hunting for that first win. Like I said, I really thought I had it, especially when they got mixed up back there, I think with like 8 or 10 to go. I thought I had enough of a gap, but like I said, it just came up a little short.
Well, short, but still not a bad run. Second place there for the 19 car. Still looking for that W in the season. We'll see if he can get it done next week.
Good luck tomorrow night in your Chicagoland race.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. Good luck for tomorrow night. You have great momentum on your side.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Now I want to welcome Stage 1 and Stage 2 winner DWH. Unfortunately, not really in contention for that win late in Stage 3 there. What happened? Did the car fall off, or what went why in that last stage?
First off, kept getting freight trained every time I tried to make a pass, and then everyone just goes around the outside with the draft. And then the biggest part was on that last stop. I looped it coming in. Luckily I didn't speed, but that really killed it all. Just hit the wall.
What were the conditions like out there as far as you getting back to the front? It looked like Stage 1, Stage 2, you were able to win both stages, but they were very different as far as a short run to the finish versus a long green flag run that began Stage number 1.
Yeah, it was intense out there, especially on every restart. Never knowing who was gonna try and dive bomb it or whatever. It was really fun racing out there. A lot of grip on the outside, but bottom was really slick. But it was pretty good racing, I thought.
Looks like a lot of guys were having trouble coming off of 4. Looked like everybody was getting loose, hitting the wall a little bit.
Yeah, everyone kept having issues with the second seam. They were getting the right rear on it, and it was starting to get them sideways. Luckily, I never had that issue, but it seemed to really affect a lot of guys.
Well, where did you end up finishing, actually, by the way? I wasn't able to see.
Finished fifth.
Fifth? Okay, so it's still a top
Not too bad.
5.
Yeah.
And you're still happy with the race car. Well, not the finish you wanted, but definitely valuable points gained during that both those stages. So we'll look forward
Hell yeah.
to seeing what could possibly perhaps happen next week.
All right.
All right,
Good
thank you so much
number.
there, DWH.
Thank you.
All righty, well, another exciting finish and first-time winner here. We seem to be on trend both in the real world and in esports. Justin Haley and Alex Bowman becoming the first 2 drivers in the Monster Energy Cup Series to win their first wins back-to-back since 2007. That was Casey Mears and Martin Truex Jr., Charlotte and Dover, respectively. Now we have a first-time winner here in the PRCS League. That is Jason Keffer driving the number 88 machine, who you can also watch for esports tomorrow at Chicagoland. I do believe that begins at 7:30 Eastern time. I don't know. You can probably find that
I
out.
think it's 8. It's 8 o'clock. But he pilots the number 7 Junior Motorsports. Win Junior's car, or what, they're giving away a Corvette or something. So tune in and watch him on that. He's number 7.
We wish all of our esports drivers the best of luck in tomorrow's event, and we wish them all a great job here tonight. Great job to the 88 Jason Keffer. And from all of us here at the booth, we hope you enjoyed tonight's Sunshine State 400 at Homestead-Miami Speedway, presented to you by NASCAR Heat 3. I'm Alexander Ned. He's from the back, and we are signing off for tonight's event here at Homestead. So long.